What's up, everybody? BlueGabe. This is sort of a different style video than I'm used to doing. As most of you already know, we just had Hurricane Ian come through South Florida and all the way pretty much from Southwest Florida to Northeast Florida, and it wreaked havoc the entire way. Now, I'm located in Stuart, Florida, and we didn't get much damage here at all. Actually, the first day, the day the storm was pretty much coming on to land, we went fishing just because there was nothing else to do. I have a good friend, Tom, who lives in Fort Myers. He's a charter captain there who owns Blind Date Charters. I had him and his family come here. He was able to bring his boat, and thank God, because his boat was spared. Literally, there's nothing left in the Fort Myers area. None of the charter boat guys have their boats. I don't know how they'll ever rebuild from this. So fortunately, Tom was able to come here with his 3 little kids and his wife. We went and got some barrels. We're able to fill them up with fuel and send them back with Tom once the coast was clear over there and they were able to get back home. The next morning, me, Tarzan, and my son Jake loaded up and went to Mr. Trevor's house, which is in Sebring, Florida, which was on the right side of the storm as it came through. Checked on him because nobody has cell phone service. Once we got there and saw that Trevor was fine, we were able to get a hold of one of the cowboys that has the cows on the ranch that we lease for hunting. We went to his house. I didn't film any of that because of privacy issues. His house was devastated. Had water inside, the roof blew off, just like mind-blowing. It was completely surreal for me to see that. We helped him get everything out of his 2 bedrooms into his living room to where we can start to, air the house out. And then we went over to another guy, Chris's house, which is right on the Peace River. The Peace River comes through Wauchula, where our lease is, and Chris lives right there on the corner of it and has a very beautiful place, and it was completely underwater. When we showed up, he was actually landing his helicopter. The kids started filling up sandbags, all the guys that were there, and we started placing them around his house. And that's where the thumbnail to this comes into play. And I'm going to get back to that in a minute. That wild hog was doing something I've never seen, but that was more to get attention to this video to let you guys know just how bad Florida is and how much help we need. So I'm going to get back to the hog part. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Once we got done helping Chris with his house, putting up as many sandbags as we could, trying to keep the water from coming in, we ended up going to our lease, which by no means do we care about. We just had to get there and try to get some of the meat out of the refrigerator so it didn't rot, because they're going to be out of power for weeks on end. So Trevor stayed at his house last night in Lake Placid. Would you do that again?
Why not?
He said about 7:30 at night to about what time, 11, 12?
Oh no, it was about, power went out at 4 and about 6, maybe about 5:30 it got pretty rank, and then at dark it was rank till about 10 o'clock.
Oh, from what we can see right now on camp, it's not good. We can't even get near like Fort Myers or any of that where the real devastation has occurred, but when you're watching the news of this hurricane, all you're really going to hear about is the big cities. Well, from Fort Myers all the way over to the center of the state, you have little cities like Arcadia and Wauchula and Fort Meade, and they're devastated.
That's what I thought.
Watch the nails in all these boards. Holy macaroni. Well, we got an opened up camp now.
The camp stays.
Oh, but the empty garbage can is still.
Look where it just twists them big limbs off.
Oh, so I'm gonna tell you guys something that's crazy. This garbage can right here, watch this, watch this. This water can right here, watch this. Both of those stayed right there. But look at this. Look at these giant trees that are down. How does that happen? How does a garbage can, an empty garbage can, stay there, but these two monster trees fall down? Oh man, my tree stand made it. I just bought this new Millennium. It made it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. That's $700 laying there. Look at these trees. Holy macaroni. The buggies made it. Even the white tarp over the buggy blew away, but the garbage cans didn't. Right now, if you're watching this and you don't live in the area of this storm, I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that are dealing with utter devastation. The roads are completely flooded. The Peace River right next to our buddy's Chris's house, where we just spent sandbagging it, the Peace River's all the way up to the bridge and is getting ready to go in Mr. Chris's house. So right now I'm going to show you a clip of a day and a half ago what camp looked like before I left. Now look at it. Thank goodness though I came and got my camper, because nothing looks the same. Man, I think it got our water pump too.
Yeah.
But you know what? This is a hunting camp. Thank God this isn't where we live. Trying to get everything out of the freezer. I mean, nothing under here moved. That's what's crazy. Kelly's plants are still good. I better put these out in the sun. These are for mosquitoes. They're supposed to repel mosquitoes. Our little shade for our side-by-sides is gone. That's all right, we can rebuild. So right now, if you're wondering why we're not out helping other people, the power lines are still somewhat active. They haven't shut them all the way down yet, so you literally can't. You could die. You could touch one hot wire and die. So we're out here at camp, gonna get this cleaned up. I'm gonna go back home, get a ton of supplies, and we're gonna come all the way back over here and start finding people and start helping. Today I woke up and went and got more barrels to get fuel ready. Yesterday my brother Robert deer meat for dinner. He went to Pine Island and they cooked tons of food. But the problem we're having now is all of our major roads, our arteries into the areas that are most affected, State Road 70, 66, 64, 17, 75 on the west coast, they're all shut down. They've had massive flooding, bridges are down, roads are out, washouts, and these people over there are just choked off. We can't get to them. So today we're really just trying our best to regroup. We're gonna go get a bunch of formula, a bunch of baby wipes, a bunch of drinking water, a bunch of food, as much as we can. We're gonna load up my Pro Drive and we're gonna load these tanks up and we're gonna head over. I'm not sure who you need to try to donate to yet, just because it's such mad chaos. But you're going to have to help a little bit if you can. If it's $3, if it's $50, if it's $500. Florida is devastated. And it's crazy because right here at my house, it's beautiful, it's sunny, we didn't have any damage. But trust me when I say 100 miles west of here, even to our lease in Bunnell, Florida, which is way north of here on the East Coast, the house that you've seen us do all of our videos in there, it's got like 6 foot of water in it. And that's not even talking about the thousands of rural communities across Florida that, you know, there might be only a house every 5 miles. All of those houses are wrecked and have severe damage. It's just absolutely crazy and surreal to see Fort Myers and Pine Island and Cape Coral and all the little, areas between that. And just last night, 2 days after the storm, a levee broke in North Point and flooded even more people. I don't have a ton of footage of it just because when we were over there, the last thing I want to do is stick a camera in somebody's face. They've already dealt with just mind-boggling amounts of stress, and they have so much stress ahead of them. Even the house, the cowboy that we went, yeah, we got the water out of the house, but his walls are wet, his ceilings are wet, there's going to be mold. They don't know when they'll have power. Yikes. I know you've seen a ton of this on the news. I just wanted to give you a report, let you know we're all okay. Everybody I personally know is okay, but I know there's tons of people dead. There's tons of people who passed away. And probably one of the most important things I wanted to discuss and tell you guys is evacuation. I know here in Florida there's been so many storms that they said were going to wreck us, and they sort of just missed us, and everybody has gotten sort of cocky and arrogant and think to themselves, I don't need to evacuate, it'll be fine. The last one wasn't bad. To see the amount of people that stayed in those western coastlines, knowing that bad storm was coming, we all seen it coming. To give you an example, Everglades City on a full moon tide, on a normal day, sunny, beautiful, no wind, Everglades City floods from just full moon tides or extreme high tides. So to know we have a category 4 hurricane coming, and the weather people kept saying it was going to turn north and go up towards the panhandle. But no matter what, it's going to push mass amounts of water. And in the future, if you live near a coast and you see a hurricane coming, find a family member, a friend, find somebody that you can go. Like, I don't care if you go sleep in your truck, because if you're out of harm's way, you can go to stores wherever you're at. You can gear up, you can get gas, and you can get food and groceries and the necessities, and then you can come back. I feel so bad for the people that made the ultimate sacrifice of staying. And I know, trust me, I have boats and I have belongings. It's hard to leave them. It's hard to just say, well, hopefully they're here when I come back, because you want to stay and make sure your boat's all right. But when you stay and what happens in, the West Coast happens, there's nothing you can do then. You're there now. Now people are trying to get to you. And this storm's different because it caused such mad flooding. I mean, literally, I'm in Stuart, Florida right now, and I want to go to the West Coast. My only real option is to go way to the north and go to the West Coast, but then I can't come back south because those roads are closed. And every artery going over to the West Coast from me, there's like 5 of them, they're all shut down because the Peace River flooded so bad. So it's really making everybody, even the government, it's making it near impossible for us to go there. So I'm going to take it back now, and just to add a little bit of, hopefully make somebody smile, we're going to take it back to the thumbnail. When we were at Chris's house, every chunk of dry land around him is gone. It's flooded, except for this one little ridge by his house. And while we were throwing sandbags, somebody said, look at that giant boar hog out there in the pasture. And I got to look, and I'm like, oh my God, like straight up the biggest wild hog I think I've ever seen in my life. And he had just either taken down a cow or something killed the cow, and he was over there feeding it and trying to breed it, which is, I don't even know how to describe that. I couldn't take much time to film it, and the hog was actually wild, and I didn't want to get caught by it. I didn't have a gun, I didn't have a dog, so I did get some footage of it. But that's just, what you saw in that little clip that's wildlife. That's like eat or die. Like, that hog is stuck on that island, didn't have any food, and chose that cow to eat. That's just, it's so crazy to me. And I wish I could sit here and show you guys so much footage, but again, when we were over there and we were in the heart of it, the last thing I wanted to do was stick a camera in everybody's face. What I wanted to do in this video is tell you guys that we're all right. Try to warn you in the future. I don't care, because these hurricanes bring massive wind, massive flooding. You might not get all the wind, but you might get the flooding. And if you're there, you can't do anything about it. You're stuck. I mean, there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of flooded vehicles that you got to think about all the gas that's now going to go out into the Gulf. And there's no part of that that's any good. Like, none. Robert yesterday in Pine Island said they were bringing bodies in, and they're bringing people that were stranded in, and there's nowhere for them to go. There's no running water. There's no power. Nowhere for you to use the bathroom. Nowhere for you to get any food. Like where we were at, there's literally no gas stations, no grocery stores. And I can't help to think to myself, man, if we would have just pushed, if the government, if people would have said evacuate even more than they did. And I think the news media, as bad as I hate to say it, there's some to blame too. And you might ask yourself, why? Well, if you think of YouTube, if I would have put the thumbnail of this video of me just standing there, a quarter of the people would have clicked on it. Heck, most people wouldn't click on it, but I had to use a wild hog eating a monster cow to get you to click on it. Or something else, something extreme to get you to click on it. These news companies, when these storms are coming, to me, it's like for them to get people to watch, they've got to cause so much drama. If they would have just said, this storm is coming, leave. But they kept saying, it's going here and it's going there. And people, well, I don't want to go here. No, they should have just said, leave at the beginning. People need to leave. And right now, people are paying the ultimate sacrifice. I mean, I think the death toll is going to be astronomical. Not to mention the people that's going to be down after the storm. They don't have any house. They don't have any car. They don't have anywhere to go. I'm going to do some kind of disaster relief. I don't know what yet. I think I'll set up an account for it to go in, and I will take that money over there and find families that just utterly have nothing and try to provide for them. We're going to do a lot more. Today we can't do really anything. We're choked off. We can't get to them. So this was just a short, quick video to explain to you guys what we're doing. We've got fuel. We're stocking up on more food to be able to take to them. But right now we can't get to them. The government over there actually just shut down people trying to save them. I talked to some captains last night that were out all night long with their own boat saving people, and the fire department showed up this morning at daylight and said, nope, y'all go home. We got it from here. And the guys were like, what do you mean you got it from here? You don't even have any boats. And they didn't. And they sent the people that were actually helping home. I'm not bad-mouthing anybody. I'm not trying to tell anybody they did something wrong, but it's bad, and that's what we're dealing with. So keep everybody over there in your prayers, and I think there's going to be some really good charities to donate to, and everybody can pitch in a little bit and build back Florida because it needs it. It's bad. And that's really all I have for this video. I know it was quick, it was short, didn't have a ton of footage, but I just don't feel the urge to try to show you guys other people's heartaches, if that makes any sense. The news is doing a good job at that, but we need to think about the actual people themselves and the animals and everybody else. That the whole situation is a big it's bad. So like always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Right now we're going to end it. I'm going to start packing stuff up, and when we get the go ahead to go, we're going to go. And I'll try to bring y'all along, but I'm not sticking the camera in anybody's face that's distressed. That's just not me. We're going to get back to fishing and hunting as much as we can, and we're probably going to go kill a bunch of hogs and package that meat up and take it over there too once they start getting some electricity back to be able to provide some good protein. That was a bad one, folks. We'll see you in the next one.